Hey guys, welcome back to Anime Zone. Today we're looking at 10 great anime that deserve absolutely zero hate. Number 10, Your Name. Makoto Shinkai's so-called disaster trilogy commenced with 2016's Your Name, which followed the body-swapping trend seen in iconic Western movies like Freaky Friday, as well as a range of anime shows and movies. That said, Your Name transcends every trope through the chaotically heartwarming dynamic between Mitsuha and Taki, whose multiple swaps teach them more and more about each other. Your Name was a phenomenal success, earning a 98% Rotten Tomatoes rating and over 400 million. Interestingly, Shinkai is one of the movie's biggest detractors, claiming that the plot is fine but the film not all perfect. As a compelling blend of the intimacy of emotion with the grandeur of metaphysics, however, Your Name rises above its own creator's misgivings. The simplicity of the film's visual syntax is the ideal juxtaposition for the rising narrative stakes that threaten to destabilize Taki and Mitsuha's relationship. Most importantly, Your Name is an excellent vehicle to convey the universal need for belonging. Number 9, Steins Gate. Science fiction anime like Ghost in the Shell and Akira ensured that the genre would receive the attention it deserves. That said, the masterfully sculpted Steins Gate isn't always mentioned in the same reverential breath as its sci-fi predecessors. Steins Gate revolves around Okabe Rintaro and his attempts to contract the past via SMS, effectively altering his own timeline. The anime was applauded for its interwoven themes, especially the intersection of trauma and the human condition. The admittedly distorted time loops in Steins Gate reveal dangerous consequences, with the repeating motifs underscoring the accountability of making such gargantuan decisions. The series' many puzzles pale in comparison to its meditative exploration of love and responsibility, forcing viewers to reckon with their own desires of turning back time. Steins Gate may not be realistic in a scientific sense, but it's unquestionably one of the most emotionally authentic anime out there. Number 8, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Hirohiko Araki came up with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in the 1980s, and it still took more than 2 decades for the anime adaptation to emerge. Since then, fans have been enthralled by the events of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which continue to twist in weirder and weirder ways. Stone Ocean was the last official anime part, with Araki switching over to a new manga timeline that's yet to be adapted. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure may not be an intentional satire on shonen, though it feels that way given the insanity of escalation that binds the members of the Joestar family together. Every part contextualizes the original premise, pitting the legacy of Bloodline against some of the most dangerous threats in anime. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has successfully combined shonen with the genres of psychological thriller, gothic horror, gangster saga, and surreal adventure, resulting in a radically unique series that stretches the limits of what campy means. Number 7, Kill La Kill. Kill La Kill is arguably the greatest shonen parody ever made, surpassing the likes of One Punch Man and Gurren Lagann. Chronicling the adventures of teenager Ryuko Matoi, the series forces her through an increasingly formidable gauntlet in an attempt to forge her into the ideal protagonist. The basic concept of clothing being villainous was converted into a satire of fan service, as evidenced by the intentionally exaggerated transformation sequences that leave little to the imagination. Kill La Kill holds the distinction of being one of very few original shows to have a manga based around it, even if the latter medium fails to capture the high-octane ferocity of the anime. In addition to parodying shonen, Kill La Kill includes references to numerous other anime genres, including mecha, shoujo, yuri, magical girl, and ecchi. The robust audacity of the series is the best argument in its favor, as viewers are violently dragged into the hyper-stylized world of Ryuko Matoi and Satsuki Kiryuin. Number 6, Spy Family. One of the more recent anime to accrue worldwide fame, Spy Family features a refreshing set of character dynamics. Although the series initially seems to focus on Twilight, a spy who creates a pretend family comprising of a wife and daughter, it quickly reveals something shocking. In the style of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Spy Family highlights the narrative agencies of both Yor and Anya, whose presences are just as impactful as Twilight's. Spy Family has won several awards, largely thanks to its thematic intermingling. It feels like a humorous caper on the surface, but then starts translating situational comedy into heartfelt profundity. As the bridge between Yor and Twilight, Anya might just be the most important character of Spy Family, as well as a new fan favorite across anime as a whole. The show's ultimate message is unsurprisingly human, emphasizing the power of found family in even the most unorthodox circumstances. If you guys are enjoying this video, remember to subscribe and leave a like down below. Number 5. Cowboy Bebop. Although referred to as a neo-noir space western, even this genre medley doesn't truly encapsulate the unrelenting multi-dimensionality of Cowboy Bebop. There's no possible way to categorize this anime, which has been called a gateway entry into the medium for its influential presence in the West. The Netflix live-action adaptation may have been quite terrible, though that doesn't take away from Cowboy Bebop's unquestionable brilliance. The union of genre-bending, existential dread, and a musical architecture that elevates the story beyond every possible anime metric keeps Cowboy Bebop firmly on track. Spike Spiegel, Faye Valentine, Radical Edward, and Jet Black have no choice but to deal with their various crises, whether it's loneliness, regret, or simply longing for a home. The finale episode received some amount of criticisms for its enigmatic ending, but any Cowboy Bebop fan would know that ambiguity was the main point of the anime. Number 4. Haiku. Haruichi Furudate's Haiku is widely regarded the finest sports anime of all time, and frequently features a top-list ranking sports anime. Shoyo Hinata's height puts him at a massive disadvantage against generally taller volleyball players, but he still proves his value through sheer grit and determination. Currently, fans have been waiting for the final movie that promises to bring Haiku to a close, although there's no current release date for Haiku vs. the Little Giant. Sports anime such as Blue Lock and Skate the Infinity may have furthered the genre's popularity, but their legacies are the clear outcome of Haiku's prodigious success. And the best part is that viewers don't need to know a single fact about volleyball to enjoy the anime. I know I didn't. Which inevitably explains the mechanics of the sport in a way that doesn't feel sanctimonious or didactic. From the heroes, Hinata's team, to the villains, their opponents, Haiku is complex, well-rounded, and deeply engaging. Number 3. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Released in 1995, Neon Genesis Evangelion has flawlessly retained its cultural impact even 30 years later. Timeless anime are always a pleasure to watch, and although Hideaki Anno's masterpiece frequently delves into depressing territory, it feels even more relevant today. Set in a post-apocalyptic world with still functioning governments and weapons programs, Neon Genesis Evangelion is the story of humanity itself. Fans may focus more on Shinji Ikari than Rei, Gendo, Misato, Kaworu, Ritsuko, and Asuka. Every single character undergoes a metamorphosis as the story draws to a close. Neon Genesis Evangelion deconstructs the mecha genre, replacing its mechanical parts with the philosophies of religion and mysticism. Psychology plays the biggest role in the anime, however, as Neon Genesis Evangelion eloquently circumscribes the hard limits of human desire and desperation. Number 2. Fruits Basket. Named after a Japanese children's game, Natsuki Takuya's Fruits Basket received a 2001 adaptation that wasn't nearly as impressive as the 2019 anime reboot. The anime follows an orphan named Toru Honda, who discovers the Soma family's cursed relationship with the animals of the Chinese zodiac. Over the course of the story, Toru offers her emotional support to the Somas, which naturally highlights her own significant EQ. Fruits Basket efficiently reframes the shoujo genre into a meditation on family, trauma, and healing, strengthening the anime's core framework of psychological realism. Instead of trying to fix the Soma family's suffering actively, Toru reveals the emotional power that lies in merely being present. Fruits Basket centralizes the tenderness of human connection, without glamorizing suffering. Healing, even self-healing, is depicted as hard work that might require setting boundaries. Number 1. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Hiromu Arakawa's Fullmetal Alchemist was initially adapted into the eponymous anime, which wasn't nearly as earth-shattering as the remake. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, on the other hand, is a glittering example that repeatedly demonstrates the priceless value of the medium, holding the top position on the MLA rankings for years. The series was only recently ousted by Freer and Beyond Journey's End. All things considered, however, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood remains exquisitely profound and thoroughly relatable. The world building, already monumental in scope, reveals a darker motif that seamlessly segs into the overarching narrative, which is itself held together by an array of compelling character arcs. Calling Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood the perfect story is reductive, as it's so much more than that. The series is essentially a tale of friendship and love striving to succeed in a world governed by laws and rules, whether political or alchemical, firmly cementing Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood as an anime epic. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, you might also enjoy this one here. And I'll see you guys next time.